Ladies and guys who think that it is possible to be successful without ever failing. Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet. I should turn my phone notifications off. This is the Inner Winner Show. Let's fucking go. Want to make something damn clear here, guys. Like, you absolutely cannot reach your goals, and you will not reach your goals, not any significant goal, without fucking up 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. And when I say fuck up, let's redefine what fuck up actually means. If you look at the title of this podcast, fail equals first attempt in learning. I stole that from one of my friends, and it's a beautiful fucking acronym. Because when you fail, when you fuck up, when you make a mistake, when you get something wrong, that's the first step to learning. How do you learn something? By making mistakes. It is literally inevitable that you will make mistakes on the path to your goals, on the path to learning something, on the path to self-enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, self-improvement in general. You absolutely cannot get there without screwing up a lot of times. One of the guys in my group coaching program at the moment said it best recently. We were doing a group coaching call, and someone else was basically worried about failing and saying, oh my God, I'm worried about failing. And this guy jumped in and said, there is no failure. You've just learned what didn't work now so that you can adjust and go try something else. Wonderfully said. Every supposed failure is one step closer to you getting to your goal. I really want to drill into you guys that it is literally inevitable that you will fail on the path to victory. You cannot get to victory without failing. Find me one person who has achieved any goal of note on the entire planet without fucking up, without getting something wrong, without making some sort of misstep. Because we're really talking about perfection here, and perfection does not exist. You will not be perfect. You cannot be perfect. If you have grandiose notions of, this all being smooth sailing, and you'll just go outside and talk to women and it'll be beautiful, and you can just lose weight and you'll never have a cheat day, and you'll never have a day where you go off calories a little bit. You'll never have a day where you don't want to go to the gym. No, I'm sorry, but that's your arrogance speaking. Maybe it's your naivety speaking. You will not ever have a smooth path to victory. It doesn't work like that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to suffer. That doesn't mean you're going to fail 1,000,000 times. I'm not saying that. But if your mission is to never fail a single time, if you are that terrified of failure, that terrified of fucking up, if your arrogance or your naivety is that high, you need a dose of reality. You are going to fuck up. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to get things wrong. You are going to have days where you don't give 100% or you give 100%, but the output isn't 100%. That's inevitable. Especially, like I said, if we're talking about big goals. If we're talking about you building the sex life you want, you losing a bunch of weight, you making a bunch of friends if you have none, you starting your own business. Jesus Christ. Ask any entrepreneur or business owner how many times they fucked things up, and they'll say, what are you talking about? I fuck things up on a daily basis. How would I not? You don't know what you don't know. And so when you start one of these goals, life is going to, or the goal itself is going to slap you in the face a couple of times. Reality is going to hit you in the face and say, hey, you were naive. You didn't know this thing. You'll get hit in the face. You'll be shown the thing you didn't know. You'll learn from it. You'll adjust. You'll do better in the future. That's an inevitable process. No matter how many books you read, no matter how much you prepare, and this is why I'm a big advocate of not sitting there and reading for 2 years trying to prepare for something. At some point, you have to dive in and just do it. The one exception that I'd say to that is probably something like if you're going to do psychedelic drugs, do a lot of research. But almost anything else that isn't a psychedelic fucking drug, at some point, and even with drugs, at some point, all the reading in the world is not the same as jumping in, making some mistakes, going, oh shit, I took too much, or oh shit, I forgot to get food so that I could have food on standby, or oh shit, I forgot to have a person sitting next to me to look after me. You're going to make mistakes. I don't want you to make mistakes. I don't like making mistakes, but it is an inevitable part of, no, scrap that. I do like making mistakes. I genuinely, when I make a mistake, because the way my head or my brain thinks about it is, okay, I've learned something cool. It's a positive thing, and I want you guys to reframe it as a positive thing. So rather than I failed, oh, this was my first attempt in learning. I've learned something. Oh, cool. Like, this is a new piece of information that I didn't have before. I'm literally smarter because of this failure. I think guys will beat themselves up over a failure and say, oh my God, I'm so dumb, I'm stupid. How could I get that wrong? It's like, no, I'm literally smarter now. There was a piece of information that I did not have before this failure, this supposed failure, Now I have that piece of information. I am literally smarter. So stop beating yourself up for that shit. I myself, I can't drill into you guys how many hundreds, thousands, millions of mistakes I have made over the last 6 years. Of course, I could just list them and we'd be here forever. How many cringe-worthy things I have done, how many embarrassing things I've done, how many days I've gone home with my tail tucked between my legs and just said, this was the worst day ever. How did I screw this up so bad? I'll take a deep breath, I'll work through it, and I'll go, no, I learned something today. Okay, now I know I'm going to use the pain of this embarrassing mistake, if you want to call it that, and I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to adjust and do something different. Or I'm going to be better. Or I'm going to learn from this. This is a healing moment. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So failure makes you stronger. It also makes you smarter. So stop looking at it like it's a bad thing. You're going to make small mistakes, big mistakes, embarrassing mistakes, cringeworthy mistakes, blah, 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 blah. If you aren't okay with failure, if you aren't okay with fucking up, if you aren't okay with the whole process of learning, which by definition, the process of learning requires you to make mistakes, you will make mistakes, then this is the wrong game for you. Self-improvement is not for you. If you're not okay with failing, don't self-improve. Just have a normal, complacent, and this is probably the reason that most people settle for complacency, for an average life, because you don't fail as much. You're not really going to fail if you take a safe job, you get a safe salary, you find a safe wife or a safe boyfriend, you get married, you raise your kids in a safe way, politically, centrist or slightly left, you don't really rock the boat, all your friends are safe. That's a very, and some people like that, fine, sure. Please don't take that as disparaging against all of that stuff. I'm not criticizing the things themselves, but I'm saying if you do that and out of a choice of choosing what's safe or complacent, you're not going to fail. By definition, you're choosing not to fail. I think most people choose what's safe. They choose the safety net. They choose not to fail. And so if you want an elite life, a life that would make all those people jealous, again, nothing against those people, but if you want to make the average person jealous, you have to fail a lot. The average person, the difference between you and the average person is 1, you won't quit, and 2, you are willing to fail and fuck up and look like an idiot and do things that they will not do. If you want to be elite, you have to do the things that average people are not willing to do. Speaking of elite, and if you want to do things that the average person will not do, hit me up for coaching. Links in the description below to that. I have group coaching. I have one-on-one coaching. I will kick your ass into gear. And I want to end this by saying, go out there and fail. You're going to. It's not a bad thing. Just like a lot of pickup artists say, go out there and literally try to get rejected. I like that message. Stop looking at it like it's a bad thing. Every rejection will teach you something. You will get better. By definition, the trial by fire will make you a stronger man or a stronger human being. And give yourself permission to suck. I did an article. It was my first article. I will link to it in the description below. And it was called Give Yourself Permission to Suck. I was terrified of making mistakes with my website and starting my coaching and all that sort of stuff. And I wrote an article, the very first article I wrote, on giving myself permission to suck and saying, I'm probably going to fail. I'm probably going to fuck this up. Doesn't matter. So go read that. Go out there. Go fail. You're going to. It's a good thing. You learn from it. You become smarter. You become wiser. You become stronger. And go out there and crush your goals, guys.